Chapter 17. Chapter 17. If you have a lemon, make a lemonade. While writing this book, I dropped in one day at University of Chicago and asked the Chancellor Robert Maynard Hodges how he kept from worrying. He replied, "I have always tried to follow a bit of advice given me by a late Julius Rosenwald, president of Sears, Roebuck and Company. When you have a lemon, make a lemonade." That is what a great educator does, but the fool does the exact opposite. If he finds that life has handed him a lemon, he gives up and says, "I am beaten, it's fate, I haven't got a chance." Then he proceeds to rail against the world and indulge in any orgy of self-pity. But when the wise man is handed a lemon, he says, "What lesson can I learn from this misfortune? How can I improve my situation? How can I turn this lemon into a lemonade?" After spending a lifetime studying people and their hidden reserve of power, a great psychologist, Alfred Adler, declared that one of the wonderful characteristics of human being is their power to turn a minus into a plus. Here is an interesting and stimulating story of a woman I know who did just that. Her name is Thelma Thompson, and she lived at the 100 Morningside Drive, New York City. During the war, she said, as she told me her experience, during the war, my husband was a sentenced at any army training camp near the Mojave Desert in New Mexico. I went to live there in order to near him. I hated the place. I loathed it. I had never before been so miserable. My husband was ordered out of the maneuver in a Mojave desert, and I was left in the tiny shack alone. The heat was unbearable, 125 degrees in the shade of the cactus. Not a soul to talk to but Mexicans and Indians, and they could not speak English. The wind blew instantly, and all the food I ate and the very air I breathed were filled with the sand. I was so utterly wretched, so sorry for myself that I wrote to my parents. I told them I was giving up and coming back home. I said I could not stand in 1 minute longer. I would rather be in a jail. My father answered my letter with just two lines, two lines that will always sing in my memory, two lines that completely altered my life. These two lines are: two men logged out from prison bar. One saw the mud, the other saw the star. Two men looked out from the prison bar. One saw the mud, the other saw the star. I read those lines to cover and over. I read this line over and over. I was ashamed of myself. I made up my mind I would find out what was good in my present situation. I would look for the star. I made friends with a native and their reaction amazed me. When I showed interest in their weaving and pottery, they gave me a present of their favorite pieces which they had refused to sell tourists. I studied the fascinating form of cactus and yuccas and Joshua tree. I learned about prairie dog was for the desert sunset and the hunted for the seashell that had been left 3 millions of years ago when the sand of the desert had been an ocean floor. Oh, what brought about this astonishing change in me? The Mojave Desert had changed. The Indian had not changed, but the Mojave Desert had not changed. The Indians had not changed, but I had. I had changed my attitude of mind, and by doing so, I transformed the rest experience into the most exciting adventure of my life. I was stimulating and excited by this new world that I had discovered, and I was so excited by the wrote a book about it. a novel that was published under the title Bright Ramparts. I had looked out of my self-created prison and found that star. Thelma Thompson, you discovered an old truth that Greek taught 500 years before Christ was born. The best thing are the most difficult. The best thing are the most difficult. Harry Emerson Fosdick repeated it again in the 20th century. Happiness is not mostly pleasure, it is mostly victory. Yes, the victory that comes from the sense of achievement, of triumph, or turning our lemon into a lemonade. I once visited a happy farmer down in Florida who turned over a poison lemon into a lemonade. When he first go to his farm, he was discouraged. The land was so wretched, so he could neither grow fruit nor raise a pig. Nothing thrived there but a scrub oak and a rattlesnake. Then he got his idea. He would turn his liability into an asset. He would make the most of this rattlesnake. To everyone's amazement, he started canning rattlesnake meat. And when I stopped to visit him a few years ago, I found that tourists were pouring in to see his rattlesnake farm at the rate of 20,000 a year. His business was thriving. I saw a poison from the fang of his rattle being shipped to the laboratories to make anti-venom toxin. I saw rattlesnake skin being sold at a fancy price to make the women's shoe and handbag. I saw canned rattlesnake meat being shipped to the customer all over the world. I bought a picture postcard of the place and mailed it to the local post office of the village, which had been rechristened Rattlesnake, Florida, in honor of the man who had turned a poison lemon into a sweet lemonade. As I have traveled up and down and back and forth across America, time after time, it has been my privilege to meet dozens of men and the women who have demonstrated their power to turn a minus into the plus. The late William Botello, author of 12 Against the God, put it like this: the most important thing in a life is not a capitalist in your gains. Any fool can do that. The really important thing is to profit from your losses that require the intelligence, and it makes a difference between a man of sense and the fool. Bolitho uttered those words after he had lost a leg in a railway accident. But I know a man who lost both legs and turned his minus into a plus. His name is Ben Foston. I met him in a hotel elevator in Atlanta, Georgia. As I stepped into the elevator, I noticed this cheerful looking man who had both legs missing and sitting in a wheelchair in a corner of the elevator. When the elevator stopped at his floor, he asked me pleasantly if I would step on corner so he could manage his chair better. So sorry, he said, to inconvenience you, and deep heartwarming smile lighted his face as he said it. When I left the elevator and went to my room, I could think of nothing but this cheerful cripple. So I hunted him up and asked him to tell me his story. It happened in 1929. He told he told me with a smile. I had gone out of the court a load of hickory poles to stake the pins of my garden. I had loaded the poles of my Ford and started back home. Suddenly, one pole slipped under the car and jammed the steering apparatus at the very moment was making the sharp turn. The car shot over the embankment and hurled me against the tree. My spine was hurt, my legs were paralyzed. I was 24 when that happened, and I have never taken a step since. 24-year-old, sentenced to the wheelchair for the rest of his life, asked him how he managed to take his so courageously, and he said, "I didn't." He said he ragged and rebelled. He foamed about his fate, but as the year dragged on, he found that his rebellion was not getting him anything except bitterness. When I finally realized, he said, that other people keep kind and courteous to me, so the least I could do was to be kind and courteous to them.